Hi, welcome to Food News and Chews. Hey Jeremy, what are we up to today?
Well, it's Martin Luther King week, right?
Yeah.
So what better way to celebrate that than to talk about some barbecue, which is what we're going to do with Brooks
lemon
Barbecue.
pie.
Lemon pie is a big part of it
Yummy.
too. So we got Brooks Barbecue on Food News and Chews, and I've also got some great recipes and ideas for green beans and coleslaw, some good sides for your barbecue.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know.
Welcome to Kentucky's largest commercial restaurant equipment and supplies store. Seaworth Superstore is a 15,000 square foot chef's treasure chest.
Seaworth Superstore is the store for those in the restaurant industry, churches, and catering. Find chefware, large equipment, refrigeration unit, about anything needed for a volume event. Seaworth Superstore, in business since 1954, offering free local delivery, so come on in and get hooked immediately.
And a complete line of chef apparel. Seaworth Superstore, located at 1403 Versailles Road and seaworthsuperstore.com.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell like right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and lyonsfarm.com.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other Central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a grade A choice, folks.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Welcome viewers to Food News and Chews, and today we're celebrating Martin Luther King Day, which is tomorrow. Monday, the 21st. And you know, Martin Luther King, of course, was a giant among those that addressed inequalities and injustices.
Yes.
And one of the great food injustices, if you want to go into the food stuff, is food deserts.
That's right. So when we talk about food deserts, we're talking about a few issues there. We're talking about an area that doesn't have access to fresh
and a lot of people thought,
food.
Jeremy, it was just airliner food.
Right.
And college campus
vending
food.
machine, right?
No, but this is real. This is
is
either urban or rural. And a lot of people think it's just urban, but actually you can have food deserts. And let's explain what that is, because there's three major issues. One, it's about physical access to food. Two, financial, being able to afford good food. And 3, knowledge of food and its preparation.
Well, sure.
People don't know, and that may not even just apply to food deserts. It applies across the board to a lot of people.
So what you start out with is, say, the urban aspects of it. If you're in an urban environment, it's kind of hard to find fresh produce and, good quality meats, on the street corner, because that's just not...
in certain parts of town.
In certain parts of town.
And that happens in Lexington.
It does. It happens all the time. So we talked about it, that's a food injustice when you don't have access to those things.
Yeah.
The other aspects are going to be, access and affordability. Who can afford only all natural and fresh and organic all the time?
That's right. Cost is a major issue.
Right, and access, it's not like we all know our own personal farmers, too. So you have to be able to get that to, at the grocery store. And if there are no grocery stores in sight, that
or
becomes a problem.
Or they're just tiny places with lots of chips and
chips and
processed
things.
Corn syrup-based things. I should also say, I mentioned Lexington, but we cover a large area.
Sure.
And these can be in our rural parts of our state, northern Kentucky, various parts of the state. So they're like everywhere. And it's a big issue. Like 10% of the U.S. is food desert.
Yeah, there is some confusion on what a food desert, can be. We just talked about rural. I mean, we just talked about, metro areas, but rural is a big deal, too. Because, the generation of where people grew their own food and farmed their own food, that's kind of past. We've kind of skipped a generation gap there. So when it comes to rural areas, you have the same problems. You don't have the infrastructure there where people can go to a grocery store. It might be 10 miles to the next grocery store.
That's
maybe
right.
20 miles to the next grocery store.
Now, a lot of people are addressing this issue, and a lot of government programs. In fact, you and I this past summer did a community event in a food desert area in a part of town, and did what we called pizza.
Yeah, right. That
it was
fun.
actual beets on top of pizza.
Sure, and it was like, ways to introduce fresh food into familiar, maybe
and the children
foods.
loved it.
That's how you do it. We did broccoli and macaroni and cheese because that's how you get some broccoli and down a kid.
Now, Jeremy, one of the things about a food desert, though, is it's not always just a shortage of food, it's a shortage of the right kinds of food.
Yes.
Because people are, we have an obesity issue, and it's not just in food deserts, people shopping in suburban grocery stores.
No, you're right, Sylvia. We just talked about, say, being able to get to a grocery store, but we'd also talked about, there might be a grocery store, but along the way there's 10 or 12 fast food restaurants, right? And along with those becomes the processed foods or the gas station food, so there's not the right kind of food to eat.
So it can be eating things that really aren't very necessarily good for you. It can be a food desert issue as well. And so it's a very complicated issue, and one that hopefully will get more and more addressed, and more programs are taking place that do address the food desert issue. But quickly tell us, there's a historical food news item, and it's about black-eyed peas.
That's true, and when we talked
news.
about black-eyed peas, and during the Civil War, we had the Yankees coming in, right? And they thought the black-eyed pea or the cowpea plant was pretty much useless. So that became kind of a staple in the South, is how to to eat cowpeas, because they left those bushes intact where they burned all the other ones down.
And they bring good luck, right?
They bring good luck.
By the way to eat them.
That's right. So during the New Year and on in Martin Luther King, that's became a tradition. We call it Hoppin' John, like black-eyed peas and rice. It's a great dish. It's good comfort food. It's good soul food, and it's just a good old Southern dish. And that's why it became into prominence, was they left the cowpeas intact and just kind of inbred into the culture. It's really, a great thing.
That's great, because my mother-in-law always makes sure that we have at least one black-eyed pea.
That's right.
Because brings prosperity and
That's right.
It'll make me healthy, wealthy, and wise?
Well, the wealthy part, if you cook greens with it, like collard greens, kale greens, that represents the green. So you've got your black-eyed peas and your greens, and that represents the wealth and the money you're going to get in the new year, all through January and February. So that's great.
Well, I can't wait to see more about barbecue and coleslaw and lemon pie.
I can smell
the smoke. Not necessarily in that order either.
That's any way we can take it.
We'll be back with Food News and Chews.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Jeremy, the restaurant startup business is challenging. We should know.
That's right. In business since 1954, Seaworth Superstore is the place to begin. Reconditioned equipment and the lease to purchase program can get you in and going in no time.
Seaworth, with its dedicated staff, can help you plan with CAD services that provide a successful layout.
Dan and his team will help you fill in the blanks with everything from soft drink machines to exhaust hoods. Come to Seaworth Superstore and make your dreams come true.
Located at 1403 Versailles Road and SeaworthSuperstore.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell like right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a great A choice, folks.
Hi, we're back with a great interview here today. Yes. Jeremy, we're in this great setting, Brooks Barbecue.
The smell is amazing. I love the smell of barbecue, just the wood.
Overpowering.
Oh, man, it's just
it's
intoxicating. Yes.
Yeah.
We've got Liz and Sammie Brooks here with us.
Yeah.
And this is...
Hey, Jeremy, try with this. This is their patented lemon pie. I'm always trying to get him to hush up. I managed it. Okay, let's do the interview,
Notice how they
guys.
gave you 2 forks, though, actually. We'll see how we do this here.
Oh, this is divine.
You gotta try this out. You guys really have a good recipe here. I wish I could talk about that some.
Payback.
We're here to talk about barbecue. And this is Alabama style barbecue. And I know one thing, that Alabama, it's like a culture, barbecue is, and it's like food is either barbecue or it's not barbecue. So what are the rules? Because we've got different regions of barbecue in the South and all throughout the United States. So what are the rules to Alabama barbecue?
Well, I think Alabama barbecue is based on a rub that we use, but I think the real key is our mop sauce, vinegar-based mop sauce that we use.
M-O-P?
M-O-P, yeah, to mop the meat with.
And now they really sometimes use a kitchen mop too. Some people like put a big mop in a bucket and wet it down and just slap it on the meat. Yeah, it's really
that's exactly where the name came from.
Oh,
right.
you can buy
we
it
actually
anywhere.
we actually have a little smaller one about that long that we use to do the mopping with. But I think that's the key, and it's a vinegar-based mop.
Do you do it before the meat goes in the
No, we do
smoker?
it while the meat is being
And
cooked.
you just constantly baste it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can smell it now.
And also we use hickory wood. Most of the southern barbecue use some kind of a wood, but we use hickory. We like the taste of hickory smoked meat. And
that's the secret, in my opinion, to really good barbecue. I mean, they have new machines now that you can put the meat in and get a little bit of a smoke, or put these smoked pellets in there. If you're going to do barbecue, it's got to be over an open wood smoke. It's just, there's nothing that really, it's just intoxicating. You can smell and taste it all through the meat. It's just part of what makes really good barbecue, and that's what you guys are doing.
Now, y'all started out in Alabama, and there still is a Brooks in
That's
Alabama.
right.
Tell us about that, because that's deeper in the South than we are.
Yeah.
And
That's true. Well, my father started Brooks Barbecue in, I think, 1963.
Really?
And
1963.
so when he passed away, my brother, I'm the oldest, but my brother next to me took the business over. So we've been in the business since about 63.
Still
And
going down there,
Still
right?
going down there. My brother still runs it. He and my younger sister. And so Liz and I and our kids, Craig and Heather, brother-in-law.
They're part of this business, aren't they?
They are.
It's a family business.
Right. We decided that we would try it here. So we bought the Alabama-style barbecue to Lexington, Kentucky.
And it's really taking off. Barbecue is really a hot property. We just got back from a conference, Southern Foodways Alliance.
A barbecue conference.
Was the
so
theme.
yeah.
People are writing books about barbecue.
Yeah, 3 days on the history of barbecue. And, you know, one thing we learned was how barbecue is coming into, I guess, popularity again because of the movement where you sit down
Breakfast, Jeremy. I'm eating breakfast.
I know,
Okay,
that's breakfast.
Yeah.
You sit down at a table together. It's more of a sharing, aspect of eating. You get to kind of, spend more time together because things are passed around. It's more of a family environment. It's just, meant for the table. Do you guys see that here? A lot of catering too. People taking things home to eat and eat together. Picnics.
Yeah, I guess that's the secret of barbecue. I mean, it's just such a craze right now,
Yeah.
and it's part of this Southern food culture.
Right.
That's really growing up. Now, y'all, Alabama, and this is the day before show is airing, the day before the Martin Luther King Day on Monday, and I know that Alabama was where he was, and did so. What did you have any contact at all with all of that was going on in the backdrop?
Well, I went to college at Tuskegee in Alabama, which is in the central part of the state, basically. And Martin Luther King was located in Montgomery and Birmingham in that general area. So I was in college during the time that he was in his movement and actually a part of that movement as a college student. And barbecue in Alabama is sort of a tradition. You can find a barbecue restaurant almost on every corner.
Is that right? Well, it's like here,
Yeah.
starting to see a lot of that. In gas station parking lots, you see the smokers.
Right. I think that people look at or see barbecue as an outdoor event, something on the grill, but I think the homemade sides, the greens, the green beans and baked beans and all that brings it inside as a restaurant atmosphere. More people, I think, like to come and eat barbecue because of the other things you add to it, I believe.
Yeah, the origins of barbecue, are from, a different part of the world, even South America, even back to Africa. But the sides, that's just intrinsically American culture now. Is all these things that we've come up to, put with our barbecues, the macaroni and cheese and the collard greens, and anything from Hoppin' John to different coleslaws, and that's what barbecue's about is getting together and sharing a good, a pig, and a bunch of good stuff.
Hey, great interview. Now we're going to stop talking and we're going to start eating. What do you think?
I want to know the secrets to some good coleslaw.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go to the kitchen. Hey, folks, we're back in the kitchen.
Right
Look
where I
at
feel
this
comfortable.
place. Nice. Yeah.
Anyway, guys,
Where
we
you
got the
can- all
secrets
of
to
you.
good coleslaw, right? So, looks like you got good fresh cabbage and carrots here, shredded up nice. And have you bled them at all, or are they just straight right into the bowl?
It's right in the bowl. We have to grate. We actually grate it all together.
Now, you say the secret for you is like good vinegar, right? Lots of vinegar?
Yes.
See, vinegar kind of lightens and awakens things up, too.
Right.
That's one of your favorite things now.
I do. I use vinegar and sugar and a lot of stuff because it just kind of makes things pop,
And your coleslaw is vinegar based.
Yeah, vinegar based, too.
Coleslaw is sort of like barbecue. It's almost like
It's, you can do anything with it, whatever style you like. Is the way you creamy, or maybe just
it's
like a
all the
vinaigrette style
varieties.
base. But anyway, so tell me what you do to this coleslaw.
Okay. These are my dry ingredients
Yep.
that I mixed together and
And
just
what are those?
sprinkle sugar, salt,
Yeah, a few other little
secrets
a
away.
few other things.
A few little things, right?
Okay, mix this up
What
really
quantities
good.
of this do you have to make every day?
I use a 50-pound bag of cabbage at one time. This
Wow.
is just a small version, and I do this about every 3 days.
Yep, that's a lot of coleslaw.
Yeah. So my dry ingredients is that.
This is sort of like by taste, right?
And then this is my dressing. This is
What can you tell us about it?
Well, you gotta have
Mayo.
mayonnaise in there, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like you got a little bit of mustard. And there's probably
mustard.
some other good little things in there.
Right.
And then he mixes it with the spices, kind of gives it a red or tinted color, right?
Yeah, that changes the color.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
And of course we add vinegar. This is a vinegar.
Is that just white vinegar?
Just white vinegar.
Nice. And see, that's going to just brighten it up, Sylvia, and make it just pop in your mouth.
Delicious.
Yep, love it.
Wow.
Gives
like
it
some
a
good stuff.
little vinegary taste, yet still a little sweet also.
See, that's really different. Around here, you mostly just going to see more of a cabbage and mayonnaise and maybe some sugar and vinegar. But adding the mustard base to it, you know, that kind of reminds me of like the South Carolina style barbecue sauce.
Oh,
where you
really?
got that gold sauce has mustard base in it.
Yeah,
So
every
this-
state has its different. Every state in the
So
South
many
has
regions,
a
yeah.
different
Yeah.
kind of well, maybe regional is more how to say it.
No, you're right. States, regions,
Yeah,
there's
you
just
got
so
South
much
Carolina,
different.
North Carolina.
But I like this. This is like the best of
What
both
is
worlds.
Kentucky
'cause-
barbecue?
Well, it's
Are we
mostly
known
like
for one thing?
We are. We're known for just smoking the meat and then using a light vinegar and, you know, mopping kind of style sauce. So it's just very loose, vinegary, with a little bit of tomato product in
Okay.
it. So it's much pungent. It's not as sticky as some of the sweet sauces you see in the South. But this is kind of the best of both worlds because you got the mustard-based coleslaw and more of the wet, sweet-based barbecue sauce and the rub. So you get everything all together at once. That looks fantastic.
And we
Yeah.
make this hot and mild.
Nice.
We have several asked for it hot.
Yeah, me.
Well,
I would do that.
I can't wait to
I
try
like it
this
hot.
out. It's going to be great.
Right.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, both
Thanks.
of you. Great to be in the kitchen. We'll be right back.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other Central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
It's consistent, it's delicious, it's got great tenderness, and it's really good for you. This nutritional element of making healthy animals for healthy eating is a big component about why their beef is so delicious. I feel so lucky to be a chef in Kentucky because the best way to express care for someone is to make them something to eat. I get to do that every single day.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and lyonsfarm.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Welcome back to Food News and Chews. Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Leather Britches and Lazy Housewives, stars of what reality TV show?
Food News and Chews, of course, right?
You are good.
That's right. Anyway, what Sylvia is referring to is we're going to talk about green beans because that's my favorite side for barbecue. You got to have
love it.
good old southern green beans. In the wintertime in Kentucky, you want to use something called a Lazy Housewife, or actually this is called a Leather Britches, or a shucky bean. Shuck beans is, you know, the fine people of Kentucky might know what these are. You don't see them much anymore, but this is a dried bean. After the crop comes in the summertime, they string them up on, up in
literally like
exactly, and dry them out.
And
so to make these,
old farmhouses somewhere.
Yep, that's right. To make these, you want to soak them overnight in water, and then you just use them like a fresh green bean.
So anybody can do that?
Anybody can do this.
Oh, cool.
You want to use a white half-runner bean. That's a type of bean.
White half-runner.
Yep. So to make green beans the way I like to do it, you're going to want to use this good old onion.
And that smells so good.
Chop it up a little bit.
How about my teeth? You want them?
Go right into some water. And you got to have a lot of good country ham or ham hock. Smoked ham hock's great too. Put that in there with your beans.
Oh, so you could use just ham as opposed to ham bones.
Now, if you got the ham bones, that's a great thing to use. I like a little bit of garlic in mine. A lot of Southerners will disagree, but trust me on this one.
And it'll be healthy for you.
Rough chop
We're into
it.
New Year's health.
That's right. throw it in there, and then I also use a little bit of fresh thyme.
Which
See how
makes green beans
I tied
all
it
the
up
better,
here, a
yeah.
little string, so it doesn't
And
kind of
that's
come
what?
unraveled. This is fresh
Rosemary?
thyme.
Oh.
So put it in there. You're going to boil this down for a good hour and let those flavors develop, a little bit of salt and pepper. And what happens is that broth becomes nice and rich. And once you do that, you can add your beans, which have been soaked, or even fresh green beans, and cook them for another couple hours.
Okay.
And that, just becomes a great
fresh
flavor.
As opposed to
Right. And this is what it comes out as. You see a lot of good onion and country ham in there.
Can I
nice
bite?
green bean. Give it a try. Fantastic stuff.
Look, healthy stuff.
Yep, that's my favorite way to do green beans.
Oh man, those are good. The flavor is outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back next week with Food News and Chews. Have a great one.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
It's consistent, it's delicious, it's got great tenderness, and it's really good for you. This nutritional element of making healthy animals for healthy eating is a big component about why their beef is so delicious. I feel so lucky to be a chef in Kentucky because the best way to express care for someone is to make them something to eat, and I get to do that every single day.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
Welcome to Kentucky's largest commercial restaurant equipment and supply store. Seaworth Superstore is a 15,000 square foot chef's treasure chest.
Seaworth Superstore is the store for those in the restaurant industry, churches, and catering. Find chefware, large equipment, refrigeration unit, about anything needed for a volume event. Seaworth Superstore, in business since 1954, offering free local delivery, so come on in and get hooked immediately.
And a complete line of chef apparel. Seaworth Superstore, located at 1403 Versailles Road and SeaworthSuperstore.com.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a great A choice, folks.